How do you beat the number 2, 3, 5, and 17 in the world in one tournament? That's what this video is all about. And of course, you know that I'm talking about Leylah Fernandez. But before I'm going to talk about her performance on court here, let's talk about Leylah Fernandez here for a second. Yes, she came up short in the finals and lost to Emma Raducanu. But I think she's shown us, even in that match, exactly why I think we can expect some really good stuff from her in the future. My name is Meike Babel. I'm a former top 30 WTA pro, 19 times Grand Slam competitor. Let me know in the comments how you like this video. Subscribe if you haven't done so yet, and let's get going. So Leylah Fernandez came into the US Open as an already established pro. Let's not forget that, but it is far from normal that you beat 4 absolute top players with very different play styles basically in 7 days. So Aryna Sabalenka, Naomi Osaka, Elina Svitolina, and of course, Angelique Kerber. The first 2 are unbelievable strikers of the ball, and you're under pressure from the word go. Svitolina and Kerber are really good counterpunchers, and they have phenomenal shot tolerance, and they just don't give you any free points. You have to work for every single ball. So how did she do it? How did Leylah Fernandez beat these 4 players? First and foremost, I really think it was her belief that it is her time, that she can beat these players. And I know a lot of people laughed it off when Leylah answered that she knew that she had Naomi Osaka before she even stepped on the court. But let's not forget, this is a player who was ranked in the 70s and was a direct entry into the US Open, as opposed to Emma Raducanu, who had to go through qualifying. But at this point in time, in women's tennis with newer faces, like Iga Swiatek winning the French Open in 2020, Bianca Andreescu winning the US Open in 2019, and Coco Gauff, of course, doing so well, cracking the top 20. A lot of the younger players are losing the fear and losing that being intimidated that a lot of players had for, let's say, a Serena Williams when she was dominating the game. So Leylah and Emma both, and then there's Clara Tauson and Marta Kostyuk. They just say, well, if these other women can do it, I can do it. They're not playing any tournaments different from me 2 years ago. They were at the same tournaments. They were in the same range of the rankings. So they're seeing them making these fantastic runs at tournaments, winning big. So they're going, well, if they can do it, I can do it. Nobody really is dominating the women's side, which I think is super fantastic and super good for the sport. So they're all going, why not me? And rightfully so. And let's not forget again, Leylah already played Billie Jean King Cup for Canada. She played the Olympics. She won her first tournament this year. So she's been around some, and she's already played some bigger names on bigger courts. And she already has a top 5 win against Belinda Bencic. So to me, that is less of a surprise that she would actually be able to string this together. I don't want to say to me it was more a matter of time for her, because it's still an unbelievable performance that she put on there. But it was less surprising in a way than a lot of people made it out to be. Now, let's look at exactly how she did it on court, because that's another thing that is really exciting to look at. She matches up against almost all game styles. As I mentioned before, she beat 2 really good strikers of the ball and 2 really good defensive players, and who themselves are counterpunchers in a way. So what really is Leylah Fernandez? I want to show you one point that to my mind really shows exactly why Leylah Fernandez is going to be a name that we're going to talk about a lot in the future. So let's start with the serve. Leylah Fernandez is not the biggest server. We can see that here, 93 is the first serve that she actually missed here. The next serve will be 80 miles per hour. So that's definitely not a phenomenal strength, but her serve is incredibly well placed. She moves it around really smartly, and she wins a lot of points after her first serve, behind her first serve. So that's really something that you need to start paying attention to, how she starts structuring the point. The second thing that you'll see, even though she's starting the point off with the second serve, notice the court positioning. She's not backing up to passively receive a good return. She's starting out hugging the baseline and just absorbs her opponent's power on the first two balls. With the second ball that she just played here, the backhand, she neutralizes the point. And then the second she has an opportunity to find her forehand, she's going to jump on that. And then is not afraid to follow it up. And that, to my mind, sets her apart from players like Svitolina or Kerber, who even after they neutralize a ball, a point, they will stay at the baseline. And that basically, as an opponent, gives me time to reset the point. And that doesn't happen with Leylah Fernandez. Being 5'6" is probably not the size that we think of as the ideal size for a top tennis player. But I want to throw that out of the window, because Leylah Fernandez just showed us that it doesn't matter that you're just 5'6". What that allows her is that she's got unbelievable footwork with a great mindset, with the mindset that I am going to use what you're throwing at me. I'm going to absorb it. I'm going to neutralize it, because I am getting to every single ball, but I'm not going to give you the benefit of backing up and creating a lot of time for my opponent to reset. She will hug the baseline. She will stay in that offensive court position. And then when she has the chance, she'll immediately jump on that. And what I think is really fun to watch is that she's not just having big blasting balls that a Sabalenka then has, or Naomi Osaka. When they have shorter balls, boom, ball is done. And they're hitting ground strokes with, I don't know what exactly the miles per hour is, but they're big. But what Leylah Fernandez does is that she has a variety of ways to take over the point, turn it into her favor, and then also finish it. And that, to me, is fun to watch. So in this point here, again, Leylah is serving, missed the first serve, and the second serve, again, is not necessarily anything really, really dangerous for her opponent. In fact, we see that Emma Raducanu can jump on that return. But what you see here is Leylah doesn't give an inch, literally does not give an inch. And with her athleticism, she's able to absorb, look at that really low sitting shot. I mean, this is something that during my time on the tour didn't exist. That was, you have a worse second serve, you back up, give yourself time. And what she does there, even when she's not in control of the point, she is not giving up time, which means the ball that got to her really fast comes back really fast. And so she is just able to neutralize everything. Again, here, scrambles, makes another get, gives another ball that somebody has to work for. And if it's not the highest percentage ball, world-class tennis, this is not the greatest area here to hit. That's considered short. And now Leylah sees that Emma here is out of position slightly and has the entire down the line shot open and is able to pull this shot off with complete balance. And that is not an easy thing to do. So great athleticism, great view of the court, and immediately recognizing when she has turned the point, when she has an opportunity to finish the point. So in the next point here, you're seeing that again, Leylah is starting the point out in a defensive position. So the first serve is going to go wide, and we're momentarily even losing Leylah out of the screen here. She's that far off. But look at the neutralizing return, deep into the center of the court. So Emma actually doesn't really have a whole lot of an angle there. And deep ball right here, sees that she's in trouble, and then you see how Leylah steps up to the ball. So again, she's not happy to just keeping the ball in play, to resetting after this ball. Sees immediately that she's got Emma on the run and is looking for an incredibly aggressive court positioning, able to step in and then finding a really good angle here to finish the point. The last point that I want to show you is one that I really, really enjoy because there's more than just banging the ball included here. So we saw that she can come up to net and finish balls here. But the other thing that I appreciate as somebody who grew up on clay court and used this particular shot a lot, this is the point. So again, starts out with not the best of serves and actually slightly slower and shorter. And Emma Raducanu is able again to step in. So this, again, still a very aggressive court position. Of course, she is in a passive position there. But here she's able, even with that deep of a ball, Leylah is able to redirect the ball. And the second she sees that Emma is stretched here, she recognizes that this part of the court is wide open, and great hands there to exploit that. And she's shown that time and time again. For sure, a very, very exciting player to watch. And now, what can we as mere mortals take away from Leylah Fernandez's run at the US Open 21? To my mind, in the last 15, 20 years even, after I stopped playing, tennis was just bam, bam, and done. Like the bigger, the harder you hit, the better. It didn't necessarily look to me like there was that much strategy behind it. Whoever hit the ball hardest the first kind of won the point. But it really, really to me is exciting that you can win at 5-6, that you can beat all these big players. And to my mind, the thing that you really want to work on is maintaining a very aggressive court position. You have to learn to play balls, maybe shortening up your take back, a crouched position, a lower position, so physicality will become more important. And I think those are some of the things that we can work on, that we're not falling too far behind the baseline, or if we did, that we're trying to come forward again and we're trying to take time away from our opponent, and that we don't have to rely on just banging winners right, left, and center. So do work on your drop shots, do work on your slices, do work on your higher and heavier loops, and just have players that you're playing not see the same shot twice. I think that's my takeaway from it, or maybe that's just because I was that type of player. Not quite sure. If you like this video, let me know in the comments. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so, and maybe ask 1 or 2 more friends, because my next goal is to get over 2,000 subscribers here very shortly.